Home with money in the kick, as Ken Callender says, or not. Only time will tell. Now, those smart 3-year-olds, Ebony Grove, Magic of Sydney, and Jewel Dilemma look set for a great battle in race 2 here at Caulfield. Simon O'Donnell and Ken Callender have been watching the odds.
Max just said it wasn't too bad a day. Do you call this a typical Melbourne day?
Well, let's hope we don't call it a typical Melbourne day, and let's hope you and I stand in this spot for the next 5 minutes and get this race over and done with, Ken.
Before this rain gets heavier. What are you tipping, quickly?
Well, Magic of Sydney looked very well, so did Ebony Grove. I'm going to stick with Litmus number 4.
I'm tipping Magic of Sydney. He's shorter on the tote than with bookies. Let's look at these prices. Number 1, Magic of Sydney, is at $3.30, just better than 9 to 4 on the tote. I can tell you bookies are a bit more generous. Number 2, Jewel Dilemma, is at $7 or 6 to 1. Number 3, Ebony Grove, is into $3.60, which is odds of around about 5 to 2. Number 4, Litmus, Simon's tip, is a 20 to 1 chance. Number 5, Mustang Ranch, a mount for Paddy Payne, is out to $5.90, almost 5 to 1. Duronic was scratched this morning. Prattler, TAB number 7, is at $9.10, odds of 8 to 1. Spring Air is a 30 to 1 chance, out to 40 to 1. Number 9, Toledo from Adelaide, has done his recent racing in Sydney. He's showing at $13 exactly, 12 to 1. And Tambor, the Sydney filly, is out to 30 to 1. My good mate Sparky, Anne-Marie Sparkman's here at Caulfield today. She's just interviewed Lee Freedman.
Lee Freedman, you've got Prattler in the Norman Robinson Stakes, second race up against Magic of Sydney. He won last start out. How will he go today?
Well, he won well at Flemington, and he's got a good weight advantage over Magic of Sydney, so I think he'll be in the race a long way.
Slightly longer distance for him today?
Yeah, that'll be in his favour, actually, because I think he's looking for at least 2,000, maybe 2,500 later on.
And how do you see the conditions today?
Through squinty eyes.
And being very wet.
Yeah.
Is it going to affect your horses very much?
Well, it's all a touch thing. It just depends how much it rains and what the track ends up like, really. So stay tuned.
OK, well, the horses are going into the barriers. We might just have time to hear what Shane Dye's got to say about tactics in a 2,000-metre race at Caulfield.
Robin Stakes over 2,000 metres. There doesn't look to be much pace in this race. Prattler will go forward and probably lead from Magic of Sydney. Jewel Dilemma will get the run of the race in behind. Now, the horse to beat, Ebony Grove, he's drawn the outside barrier at 9. He's going to get back and be very wide in the race. Caulfield's a track where you can't get caught 3 and 4 wide because it's turning and you can't win the race. This race is normally the best guide to the VRC Derby in 2 weeks' time. Watch Magic of Sydney, Jewel Dilemma, Ebony Grove.
And that's Ebony Grove still out of the barriers. The other 8 runners are in. Ebony Grove's about to join on the outside of the field of 9, which will about time now for them to go. The line is complete. Let's go to John Russell for the Norman Robinson Stakes.
We run in a fortnight's time at Flemington, of course. The lights on. They're off to a good start too. And Mustang Ranch was the first to jump into stride, quickly headed by Jewel Dilemma, getting out smartly also Spring Air. Litmus is settling in a handy position. Magic of Sydney out deeper on the track, and Prattler going forward towards the lead, followed by Toledo. A length and a half Tambor, and Ebony Grove has dropped back to last. 1,600 metres to run. And here the leader is Prattler by a length and a half. Jewel Dilemma on the inside of Magic of Sydney. Litmus close behind them on the rail. Spring Air a length and a half. Toledo. Mustang Ranch is third last, followed by Tambor. And 2 lengths away at the back of the field is Ebony Grove. They're commencing the run up the hill. Magic of Sydney has gone fast on the outside to tackle Prattler for the front running. They show out by a half length in advance of Jewel Dilemma. Litmus pulling a bit on the outside of Spring Air, getting a nice run along the inside, being followed by Toledo on the outside of Mustang Ranch, a length and a half Tambor. And Ebony Grove is last of all as they race over the hill. Again, Prattler a clear leader by a length to Magic of Sydney, a length further back to Spring Air, coming down to the railway section of the track. Further back is Litmus moving up on the outside, followed closely by Jewel Dilemma on the rails. And they were followed next by Mustang Ranch, a bit further back Toledo, followed by Tambor. And still last of all is Ebony Grove, down past the 1,000 metre mark with that distance left to go. Prattler by a length, Magic of Sydney close handy. Spring Air's getting a lovely run on the inside, third deeper on the track to Litmus, Jewel Dilemma. Then Toledo, followed by Mustang Ranch on the inside of Tambor, and still last of all Ebony Grove, about 8 lengths off the leader, coming up to the 700 metre mark, and the leader Prattler, 3/4 of a length, Magic of Sydney close handy. Litmus third, followed by Spring Air, is now being shaken up, pull to the outside, Jewel Dilemma, Toledo. Mustang Ranch over on the inside, Ebony Grove pull to the outside, and Tambor as they round the home turn. Prattler still the leader, 450 out by a length and a half. Magic of Sydney who's now under pressure. Spring Air on the inside, Mustang Ranch looking for a run behind them, Jewel Dilemma. And further back is Ebony Grove, who's very deep as they race into the straight with 250 to go. Prattler is the leader, Magic of Sydney, and coming down the outside, the filly Tambor with a very strong runner. Mustang Ranch is getting through on the inside. Mustang Ranch has hit the front with 150 left to go from Tambor, Prattler. Then Ebony Grove, who can't go on, nor can Magic of of Sydney, but Mustang Ranch is too good. And Mustang Ranch won it well by 2.5 lengths to Tambour. 2 lengths away for Ebony Grove, then Prattler followed by Jill Dilemma, Magic of Sydney, Spring Ear Litmus, and the last home is Toledo.
Well, they were all too keen to lead in that race, and the horses from back in the field finished up fighting out the race. Number 5, Mustang Ranch, Paddy Payne, or Patrick Payne, as he likes to be called first, $6.20 and $1.80. Number 10, Tambour for Eddie Wilkinson, $7 for the place. And number 3, Ebony Grove for Mick Dittman, $1.40. Let's pick up this replay, and you'll watch near the inside in the red cap. That's Mustang Ranch getting the inside run to go to the lead inside of Prattler for Greg Hall in the orange colours. And down the outside in the blinkers comes the filly Tambour with the white cap. For a moment, she looked as though she might make it interesting, but when they got down to the final 100 metres, Mustang Ranch from the Pat Highland stable was just too strong. And a pretty good win by this son of Rancho ruler, Simon.
Yes, certainly was, Ken, and what a beautiful ride from Paddy Payne. He was patient. There was pace on all the way. There was a lot of jockeys jostling for the lead. Paddy Payne was patient, let them spread as they came around the corner, had a real just straight line for home, no one to get in his road, and away he went. I thought it was a real super ride.
It sure was, and there's nothing wrong with the going near the inside. As Payne showed, the shortest way home was along the rails. Running on into third place, just passing Prattler now with the green cap, is Ebony Grove. And I thought that was a pretty fair trial for the Victoria Derby, and the little bit of rain around didn't help him. He'll go better when the track is good. Let's look at this head-on. You'll see the classic style of Patrick Payne, a great jockey. He's on the leader. Cleared out now, Mustang Ranch, and the boys have put the whip away, or the whips away, on the other runners. Disappointing, Magic of Sydney, but having to carry his 58.5 wasn't easy. Okay, let's look at this traffic cam replay from the inside of the track. Isn't that a great shot, Simon?
Certainly is a great shot, and there's Paddy Payne urging Mustang Ranch to the front. Tambour just behind, length and a half behind. Prattler on the fence, really starting to weaken, and Mick Dittman on Ebony Grove just passing Prattler in the yellow colours. You'll see Mick come forward there now in the green and white hoops, but Mustang Ranch, as you can see there, passing the post, too good for them.
Yeah, that's a great shot. That's a new shot in Australian racing, taken from a motor vehicle on the inside of the track. Harry Troy's helping us down here at Caulfield today. He's now with the winning jockey, as you can see, Patrick Payne. Take it away, Harry.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Well, patience has always been a trademark of Paddy Payne, and that was again evident with a beautiful ride on Mustang Ranch to take out the Norman Robinson. Congratulations, Patrick.
Thanks very much. Yeah, the race worked out very well, and this one stayed very well too, which was always going to be the question mark before today.
Yeah, well, he got home very well at his last run, and I guess he was a query at the distance, but he seemed to get the trip very well. Patrick, the track, it's a dismal day. Your thoughts on this, the condition of this track?
Oh, it's still rated good, but they're certainly cutting it up a bit. You know, if we get any more rain with the ground being opened up, it could easily go to dead.
Good on you, mate. Well, thanks for talking to me, and I'll let you go and enjoy the day, and good luck for the rest of the day.
It's a pleasure, thanks.
Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Harry. And Anne-Marie Sparkman is now with connections in the enclosure. Here's Anne-Marie.
Pat Highland, trainer Pat Highland, slashing run by Mustang Ranch. You must be thrilled with that performance.
Yes, he's been a very promising horse. He's been a bit frustrating because he's bred to sprint, and he's showing every indication that he stays. So, you know, we'll go on now and run in the Derby after today.
Getting Magic of Sydney, that's some scalp.
Is it? I don't know. You know, Magic of Sydney got beaten by a fairly ordinary horse in Sydney last start. So, you know, if Gay didn't train it, I don't suppose it would be such a highlight. But, you know, we're just happy to win races, and we treat them as horses. And, you know, I don't know that this is probably not the strongest race, but the Derby will probably be tougher.
Well, that's good trainer rivalry. What about in the Caulfield Cup? Will she get you back there?
Oh, she might. She's got the numbers, hasn't she? But anyway, whoever's the best horse will win. No, I mean, that's the way the game is, and it's the way it should be.
OK, good luck with Celius in the Caulfield Cup. Back to you, Kenny Callender. Okay.
Thanks very much, Anne-Marie. And the last 800 metres of that race in 49 plus shows that the leaders went a little bit hard early, and the track is just cutting up a touch. OK, time for another break from Caulfield on Cup Day 1996.
On a very, very wet day. Don't believe Max. He said it was fine, and meanwhile the winds were coming in, the rain was rushing down. But however, at had a go, I guess. It was a stab in the dark and it was just didn't quite get there. However, that's the way it goes on a day like today when you get 4 seasons in one. Caulfield Race 2, Norman Robinson Stakes, Mustang Ranch, $6.20, $1.80. Tambour paid $7 and Ebony Grove, $1.40. The Victorian dividends there for you.
Round of the season live and exclusive here at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Our coverage includes the 500cc plus the 125 and 250 races from the Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix. Returning now to the original form of horsepower, and here at Caulfield, the track has been downgraded to dead. Now, if Darren Beedman wins today on Salius, Pat Hyland will become the first man to both ride and then train a Caulfield Cup champion. He's already taken a scalp today with Mustang Ranch, a horse he owns and trains, winning the last race here at Caulfield. Hyland has been acclaimed for staging one of the most famous comebacks in turf history. The former top jockey says that hard work is the key to completing the double. Mary Gearan reports.
Being a jockey is a fairly easy life. In a good lifestyle, I can vouch for that. I've done both. They look at it and say, well, why should we go out and work as hard as that to be a horse trainer? All right, Nick, how was the track yesterday, Nick?
On any calm morning at Cranbourne, Pat Hyland can afford to reflect with satisfaction on his unusually successful dual career. A genuine appetite for work has taken him from jockey to trainer via potential disaster. 12 years ago, and still a leading jockey, he faced losing the use of one arm after a freak tumble.
He was told he would never ride again after smashing his shoulder in a fall in Adelaide.
I was very badly injured. I had shocking shoulder injuries and I had a broken arm, and yeah, I felt like giving it away at one stage because I was, you know, I did have depression a bit with the whole thing because I was in so much pain for so long.
2 lengths to Affinity, commencing a run.
But after 5 months of pain and a couple of gimme rides from friend and owner Lloyd Williams, at 44 he took one of the most memorable Caulfield Cup victories on Affinity.
You know, sometimes you wonder about these things, whether they're an act of God that make it happen, because he was virtually in an impossible position, 600 from home, and the field just opened up and let him go, and, you know, it was just one of those marvellous things to happen.
Affinity's doing better than them all. Affinity on the outside, finishing best. He's won at Affinity and next to Bounty Hawk.
As Caulfield Cup Day comes around each year, do you always look back at that win?
Oh, yes, yes. You know, I don't think a Caulfield Cup would ever go by without me relating back to Affinity. Because he was able to win the way he did, you know, I'm sure there'll be one day when I'll be training a horse that will probably ride it the same way.
Hyland would have to ride for a year with pins in his shoulder, but in 1985, his fairy tale win on 7-year-old What a Nuisance in the Melbourne Cup crowned his comeback.
Here's Tripsingham with a late run, but might be too late. What a Nuisance and Coiro Corrie May. They hit it together. What a Nuisance won the Cup.
Today's triumph was an emotion-charged affair, not only for Hyland, but for trainer John Maher and the horse.
In 1990, Hyland would finally retire, his long association with Maher and the horse Vane, part of racing law. Now, What a Nuisance lolls about on Hyland's picturesque property, watching on as he upgrades his successful Rose Farm, builds more stables, and last year brought in 5 group race wins with a team of fewer than 30. Hyland's long career has made Pyandura Park an amalgam of 3 decades of training methods.
And I figured that if you could learn enough, the challenge was there to put it into practice. And, you know, I find myself working horses like different trainers of the past.
Salius is well clear. There's no danger.
Oh, she was a very scrawny-looking filly. She had a long coat and she was very mean-looking.
Salius, the scrawny filly, grew legs and has run up more than $1 million in winnings. But Hyland just isn't the sort to beat up her chances.
And, we've got to get into a handicap sooner or later, and she's got 51 in the Caulfield Cup. I think she battles a bit at 2,400 metres under handicap conditions, but still, you know, when you got them they're as good as she is, you don't have a lot of choices. You've got to take on the best. Come on, Sal. Easy out. See a lazy old devil won't go out.
If Pat needs any help at the training track, he can turn to his own family empire for support. Son Chris, his foreman, 15-year-old Patrick, Matthew, a private trainer now, and daughter Joanne works for the Moonee Valley Club. But perhaps fellow jockey 19-year-old Sam best demonstrates his father's durability. After a few annoying injuries, in the past 3 years, a broken leg, a broken wrist, bruising of the brain, and just recently, another freak accident.
And that time I was in a coma for like a day and a half, so I was sort of, you know, it looked a bit risky for a bit there, but I'm all right now. Oh, I just think that it's all part of the business, isn't it? You know, and some are luckier than others and don't fall.
And some, like his father, are lucky enough to get back in the saddle.
Mary Kieran reporting, and that was very interesting when Anne-Marie Sparkin was talking with Pat Hyland about the big
Magic
race.
of Sydney, yes, and Shane Dye. Yeah, is it really a good scout to have?
Yeah, it was. It was a bit of rivalry there. You know, he said, oh, well, you know, Gay's horse was beaten by a pretty ordinary horse before. If it wasn't Gay's horse, it wouldn't have got anybody's notice.
Rating. No, I guess there's a fair bit of point scoring goes on. It's good to see.
Yeah, well, you don't want it all, everybody to be getting on well together, do you? The $1 million Caulfield Cup takes place later this afternoon on Wide World of Sports.
Those pictures of Port Phillip Bay out there, a few white caps, a lot of wind up, not a great temperature. We've had some rain here at Caulfield Cup. It's not exactly the best of conditions to attend a racetrack, but there's quite a few out there with big expectations. The $1 million Caulfield Cup to be run at 10 to 4 later on this afternoon. And just a recap too, the track has been downgraded to dead. That's downgraded to dead. Okay, they sound like a swarm of bees, but they go out like bats out of hell. That's the 125cc race.
Well, there it is, a sight I didn't think I'd see a half hour back, but Caulfield Racetrack bathed in sunshine.
Never take anything for granted in Melbourne, Ken, and it's now turned out a beautiful afternoon, but we're not guaranteeing the sunshine for the whole of the day.
Okay, the horses are just going out for the Mercedes-Benz Stakes, but before they go out, I've got an important message to give you. A late scratching in the Scalacci Stakes Race 4, and that is the early favourite, Lion Hunter, because the track has been downgraded from good to dead. Connections sought permission from stewards to scratch the horse, and he's come out. But in this race, the Mercedes-Benz Stakes, let's have a look at the betting. Number 1, the Oscars are scratched. Number 2, King Ivor, a hot favourite at 2 to 1. Sober Affair is at 7 to 1. Number 4, Cool Choice into 9 to 1. Number 5, Monet's Cove. Gee whiz, he's not as generous as that with the bookies. He's into 12 to 1. He'll come in a bit more yet. He's got a good chance. Number 6, Born to Perform, is at 33 to 1. Excalibur from the Lee Friedman stable, number 7, is getting out a little bit to 9 to 2. Crafty Guest is 100 to 1 chance. Number 9, Maximal, is at 15 to 1 now. Number 10, Zubin from Sydney, he's got a chance as well. He's come in a couple of points to 14 to 1. I think he'll keep firming a little yet. At number 11, The Landmark, purchased and syndicated by Mr. Simon O'Donnell, is at 7 to 1. Golden Scroll at 40 to 1. Kentucky Blue the same price. Kinder 60 to 1, and Sandridge Bay at 50 to 1. As I told you, the favourite, the hot favourite, is King Ivor. He's to be ridden by Brian York. Before he climbed aboard King Ivor, Anne-Marie Sparkman caught up with the Queensland jockey.
Brian York on King Ivor in the next. What are his chances?
He got a very good chance. He won't mind this little bit of rain about, handles it good. Track's a little bit greasy, but he should go through it good. His last win at Randwick was very good. He won by about 3.5 lengths. The class of the race that day was not quite up to this sort of class, but the way that he won will suggest that he should handle this type of class.
Now, they tell me amongst the jockeys there's a bit of complaining going on about that home turn.
Yeah, it's very greasy. It's quite dangerous, actually. I don't know what's going to happen later on in the day, but the way it stands at the moment, it's a lot of horses aren't handling it.
And in the rush home in the Caulfield Cup, that could be very difficult.
Well, it will, because there's a mad scramble for this first turn here, and if you're going into the race off the bit,
And you're going to find it hard to stand up with the horses are going to lose their footing.
OK, good luck in the next.
OK, thanks.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Interesting words from Brian York on the state of the track here at Caulfield. Time for a break before the Mercedes-Benz, and then we'll be back again on Caulfield Cup Day 1996.
Thursday.
OK, well, that's Monet's Cove behind the stalls, and the rest of the field as they're about to take their place for the running of the Mercedes-Benz Classic. King Ivor is the horse to beat. I did think he'd be at a slightly better price than he's turned out. Harry Troy, as I told you earlier, and we saw Harry after the previous race. Harry's over behind the barriers this time. How do they all look, Harry?
Yeah, they do look very well, these 3-year-old colts and geldings, Kenny. One that just went by me, being placed in now, Sober Affair, he looks very, very well. Your pick, King Ivor, he looks extremely well, King Ivor, and I do think he'll take a power beating. And the horse that I do really like, Ken, I've seen this horse win a race at Cranbourne. I know it was a much weaker race the other day, Excalibur. Now, I think he's a nice type of horse, and I've made him my first selection, number 7, Excalibur. The hardest to beat, definitely King Ivor, and for third, Sober Affair. And just for the benefit of Simon, I think his horse looks very well too. He looks like he should run some sort of a race.
What do you say, Simon? Has he got a chance?
Oh, I reckon Harry's the best judge in the land. Look, yeah, I think he'll run a nice race, but from barrier 15, he's going to need that little bit of luck.
The horse we're talking about, of course, is the Landmark, and he's still a quarter owned by Simon. OK, they're about to go. Here's John Ruff.
He gets the first to jump out from Maximal near the inside. Excalibur hunted up early in the piece and getting away well as King Ivor, taking up a handy position, being followed closely over on the outside by Sober Affair. Cool Choice is next. Monet's Cove is getting into a handy position as they race over the top of the hill. And Crafty Guest on the inside holding his posse. Leads a half length to Maximal. Close up on the outside, Monet's Cove, followed by Cool Choice. A length Excalibur. They're followed closely by Born to Perform, who's over on the inside of King Ivor and going up 3 deep as Sober Affair. A length and a half further back as Zubin on the inside, being followed by Golden Scroll. Archinda, Kentucky Blue is back behind them. The Landmark is second last and Sandridge Bay is last of all. 800 metres left to go. Crafty Guest the leader. Tackle for the front running by Maximal. A length to Cool Choice. A length and a half Excalibur over on the inside of Monet's Cove. Going up 3 deep, Sober Affair. A length and a half King Ivor, followed by Border Performer. Zubin is on the inside. Kentucky Blue is back behind them, followed by Golden Scroll. The Landmark's a long way back, followed by Archinda and Sandridge Bay is last of all as they come around the home turner, where Excalibur's got a lovely run on the inside as they straighten up to go after Maximal, who takes the leader. Joining in with a good run down the outside is Monet's Cove, and they're followed by Sober Affair. And Cool Choice is putting himself in the picture. Cool Choice on the outside grabs the leader. In second place, Maximal Bockley on well, followed further back in the field there by Sober Affair, and back behind the Monet's Cove and King Ivor from a long way back running home when the race is all over. But Cool Choice in front close to home, and Cool Choice gets the money. Cool Choice has won it by a half length to Maximal, and King Ivor flashing home in a photo for second and third, just ahead of Monet's Cove, and they were followed next home by Sandridge Bay. Further back, Sober Affair, and back in behind them came Border Perform, followed next home by further back there Crafty Guest. The Landmark Never a Threat, followed by Golden Scroll Archinda. Zubin is second last, and last to finish Excalibur, which weakened right out of it.
Well, Cool Choice around about 9.5 to 1, or exactly 9.5 to 1. $10.50 the win, $2.90 the place. Number 9, Maximal, second for Darren Beedman, has paid $4.30. And the favourite, King Ivor, doing his best work over the last 100 metres, number 2, has paid $1.50. 4, Cool Choice, Brett Pebble first. Maximal, Darren Beedman second, and King Ivor, Brian York third. Just here we see Cool Choice getting the better of Maximal in the yellow cap. He couldn't do any better. Cool Choice, hands and heels now for Preble, goes on to win. Maximal holds on for second, and flashing up in the red colours is the favourite King Ivor, just ahead of number 5, Monet's Cove. We'll see it from another angle. Already in front now is the winner, Cool Choice, in the lilac and purple colours there. On the rails in the yellow cap is Maximal, and coming down the outside in the red colours is the favourite, King Ivor, but the post loomed up too quickly for him, and he's only run third, just ahead, as I said, of Monet's Cove and Sober Affair. Here's the head-on. Maximal in the yellow cap. Outside of him in the lilac colours is the winner, Cool Choice. And, well, the favourite, he's not even in the picture there. He's whiter still in red and black colours, and he doesn't quite make that shot. Simon, no excuses. The winner was too good.
Yeah, it certainly was too good. John Maher's had a pretty high opinion of this horse for a long period of time, and today it's really come to fruition. I think there could be bigger and better things in front of Cool Choice in the future.
And there in the red and black, you just saw the favourite coming into the picture on the left-hand side. OK, Cool Choice wins the Mercedes-Benz Classic. We've got plenty more coming up shortly on today's edition of the Wide World of Sports.
Back at Caulfield Live, and the sun is out. We're not going to say too much, no predictions, but at least the sun is out. There's shadows around, and the crowd is starting to feel a little bit better about the whole afternoon. We're looking forward to some more terrific racing here on Caulfield Cup Day, and of course the big one a little later on Wide World of Sports. But as I said, the prediction was that it would fine up and clear a little later on, but from our point of view, we're not going to sort of stick our head above the water at this particular stage on the weather, but it is improving. Now, while we've been keeping an eye on the horseflesh here at Caulfield, Ian Maurice has been standing watch on all the scoreboards. Here he is at the watch with the latest.
Well, I was sitting for a little while, Ken, but thank you very much. The one-day cricket match between Australia and South Africa is underway in India. It is the Aussies' first match.
Counting Yard looking for the good oil on the Caulfield Cup. Here he is with a man who might know, fresh from Hong Kong. He'll be aboard Doremus. In the big one, Damien Oliver.
Damien, firstly, welcome home. Nice to have you back.
Great to be back, Simon.
You're back with your old partner today, Doremus. You'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I certainly am. You know, you really don't realise how big it is until you get home, and, you know, there's been a lot of excitement, and hopefully this rain can continue.
Barrier 1, does that worry you at all? Do you think the horse will still get back?
No, I hope to ride him a little bit closer today. Might surprise a few people, but, you know, we've drawn Barrier 1, so I think it's pointless to give that away and get back in the field. He's got 58, he hasn't got 52 like he did last year, so, you know, he's not going to sprint as quick as what he did last year, so we'll try and be a little bit closer, and, you know, hopefully we can get the runs when we need them.
You can't say you're not running hot. On Wednesday in Hong Kong, I think, was a double.
Yeah, I rode double on Wednesday night, and that was certainly an exciting night. I had a few friends up there from Australia. Pat Rafter, who's in Hong Kong playing tennis. He got a few of the boys out there, and they were great support.
Did they have a bet themselves, do you think?
Yeah, I think they had a little bit of a collect. So he's playing today, actually, in a quarter-final, so I hope he can return the favour on his match today.
Well, I hope they have a bit of luck and follow you today, and good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Certainly loves his golf and his tennis. OK, after the break, we'll return to the Daz and Baz show at Eastern Creek as the mighty 500cc machines prepare for their qualifying session. Don't go away.
Look out!
The track here at Caulfield has been downgraded to dead, but we are seeing a little bit of sunshine, and the weather seems to be on the improve. And of course, the big $1 million Caulfield Cup later on this afternoon on Wide World of Sports. Will it be a Gay Waterhouse day, or will we see the Freedmans come through and win their fourth Caulfield Cup? That will be a fantastic result for either one of those two trainers, and of course not forget the other fellows who are involved in this, because it's just one of those great races that really does live with you for a long, long, long time. Earlier in the show, we caught the qualifying action from the 125cc machines with the final grid positions for that class, plus the countdown to qualifying for the 500cc Grand Prix.
Archie Stakes, their jockeys are all mounted. There's about 1 or 2 to go in. I'll have time to go partly down the board. Royal Discard and Royal Rubiton are both at 15 to 1. Masked Party favoured at $4.30, just a little bit better than 3 to 1. 20 to 1 Ruleen, Lion Hunter is out. 7 to 1 Seeker. 12's another excuse. 15 Ruffles, good odds. Kingston Calling is out. Mad Chevelle at 20 to 1. Prince Marauding 16. Waver Tree 6.5 to 1. Dry Humour 66. Lord Matthew 14. Bialia 6. Mint Condition 25. Rye Hero is out, and Reckon is a 40 to 1 chance. Okay, we got through that quickly because there's one horse giving a little bit of bother. I thought Masked Party, who's now into $4 even, would be hard to beat. Masked Party is to be ridden by Shane Dye. Here's Shane with his tactics.
Well, the Scalacci Stakes over 1,100 metres.